Tech billionaires are naming AI data centers after demons. 9 nuclear plants power each facility built for millions of robots. The same demons just paraded through French streets. French taxpayers recently got a bill for 15-foot mechanical demons parading through the streets of Toulouse. Not metaphorical demons, actual demons. Lilith, the scorpion woman, half woman, half scorpion with spider legs and ram horns. Ariane, the spider woman. Asterion the Minotaur. All 3 towering over crowds of over 1 million people, including children, in a city-funded spectacle called Guardian of the Temple, Gates of Darkness. This really happened. October 2024. Your tax euros at work, France. The Catholic Archbishop of Toulouse, Guy-André Marie de Caramel, lost his mind over it. He conducted a consecration of the entire city and archdiocese to the Sacred Heart of Jesus before the event even started. Trying to protect Toulouse from what he called dark threats, this artistic event is fraught with. French bishops don't usually go full spiritual warfare mode over street festivals. This wasn't street mimes and accordion players. This was something else. I wrote about it when it happened. Thought it was weird. Then I started digging into these massive AI data centers billionaires are building, and I noticed something that made my blood run cold. They are naming these facilities after demons and fallen angels from ancient texts. Stratos, demon army ruler in ancient Greek. Hyperion, the watchers from the Book of Enoch who caused the flood. Prometheus, the titan who stole fire from the gods, punished for eternity. Baccara, named after the game overseen by Asmodeus, the demon described as the banker of the baccarat table in hell and husband of Lilith. And suddenly those French demon robots stopped looking like weird art and started looking like a preview. Here is what I now understand after connecting dots that nobody else seems willing to connect. 1. Massive mechanical demon puppets, funded by taxpayers, parade through a major European city. Part human, part beast, part machine. 15 feet tall. Biomechanical hybrids. 2. Tech billionaires are building AI data centers the size of Washington, D.C., and naming them after demons and fallen angels that Scripture specifically warns about. 3. These facilities require 9 nuclear power plants each just to run. 1 nuclear plant powers a city of 750,000 people. You do not need that kind of power to store cat videos. You need that kind of power to run millions of robots. And those French demons, they were not metaphors. They were symbols of what these cultists are intending to build for real. Giant demon robot killing machines, Terminator 2 meets a horror movie, 15 feet tall, biomechanical hybrids, publicly funded, publicly celebrated. That pattern of demon imagery showing up in public infrastructure was strange enough. Then I discovered it goes deeper than anyone realized. A reader wrote to me about Project Baccara, a $10 billion AI data center being built near her home in Arizona. Just got approved by Maricopa County, despite 553 comments against it and only 5 in support. The usual story. Billionaires want it, so it happens. But here is what made me stop cold. Baccara, the card game, is directly connected to Asmodeus in demonology. The 16th century Dutch demonologist Johann Weyer described Asmodeus as the banker of the baccarat table in hell, an overseer of earthly gambling houses. Asmodeus is one of the 7 princes of hell, the demon of lust. And, according to ancient texts, he is the husband or son of Lilith. The same Lilith that just paraded through the streets of Toulouse as a 15-foot biomechanical scorpion woman funded by French taxpayers. They named a $10 billion AI data center in Arizona after the game run by Lilith's husband in hell. And nobody noticed. Nobody connected the dots. Nobody asked why a massive facility designed to control autonomous systems would be named after a demon associated with lust, gambling, and corruption. The pattern is not subtle. It is blatant. They are telling you exactly what they are building. Which brings me to the part where I acknowledge how this must sound to anyone hearing it for the first time. I know how this sounds. I have lost 200 paid subscribers since I started writing about demon-named data centers. Not free readers, paying subscribers. Our livelihood. Food out of my mouth and Lily's. People who claim to be Christian, but turned out to be so afraid of the devil, they lack any real faith in God. Lukewarm Christians, exactly what Revelation warns about, who unsubscribed because confronting reality was too scary. They want the Jesus who feeds 5,000 and makes them feel good about themselves, but get deeply uncomfortable when you mention the Jesus who returns with a sword to slaughter armies. Revelation 19, for those keeping score at home. But here is what I understand from 30 years on computers and 20 years of studying scripture and occult symbolism. These billionaires are not stupid. They studied classical philosophy and ancient texts at elite universities. They pay millions to branding consultants. When they name a city-sized AI facility Hyperion after the fallen watchers who corrupted creation so badly that God drowned the entire planet, that is not an accident. And when the French government funds 15-foot biomechanical demon puppets to parade through city streets, that is not just weird art. That is public mockery. That is them showing you exactly what they are going to build and daring you to stop them. They are rubbing it in your face, laughing at you. 1 million people showed up to watch demon robots parade through Toulouse, and nobody did anything except take pictures and clap. The Archbishop consecrated the city, and everyone else went home. That is the test. Can we parade our plans in front of you, call them art, make you pay for it with your taxes, and have you do absolutely nothing? And the answer was yes. But why demons specifically? Why name data centers after fallen angels and parade biomechanical hybrids through city streets? Because scripture already told us what they are trying to do. The Nephilim were wiped out in the flood. Genesis says so. The book of Enoch gives more detail. These were hybrid creatures, offspring of fallen angels and human women, massive in size, violent beyond measure, corrupting all creation. God sent the flood specifically to destroy them and start over. But scripture also says their spirits were cursed to roam the earth until the end times. Disembodied, hungry, looking for new bodies to inhabit. Matthew 12:43 describes demons as spirits seeking rest and finding none, wandering through waterless places. They lost their bodies. Now look at what tech billionaires are building. Massive data centers named after these exact entities. Robot armies controlled by AI. Boston Dynamics combat robots. DARPA, autonomous killing machines. Pentagon systems that make battlefield decisions without human approval. Giant mechanical bodies, powered by AI, controlled from demon-named facilities. The French showed you the prototype. 15-foot biomechanical demons. Part human, part beast, part machine. Exactly what Genesis 6 describes. Exactly what the Nephilim were before the flood. Hybrids, abominations, mixing categories that God separated. And now billionaires are building the infrastructure to do it again, at scale, with AI and robotics, instead of fallen angel DNA. When I first put this thesis together, I thought I had lost my mind. Robot bodies for disembodied Nephilim spirits? Demon-named data centers as infrastructure for spiritual warfare? It sounded too insane to be true, until the biggest authority in this field confirmed I was onto something. I thought I was losing my mind until Steve Quayle started talking about this on his podcast. For those who do not know, Quayle is the name in Nephilim conspiracy research. He has sold millions of books on this subject. He has been studying the occult elite for decades. He knows more about this topic than anyone alive. And he was citing my article, cheering me on for my work. The biggest authority in this entire field read what I wrote about demon-named data centers and Nephilim spirits seeking robot bodies and said I was right.
Hello out there in internet land. I'm Lily, the editor at The Wise Wolf, and I just wanted to steal a moment of your time to urge you to subscribe to our god-awful channel. Otherwise, my professor is going to press charges for breaking into his office to shoot this clip. Thanks. Bye now.
And the top expert in your niche reads your work and endorses it publicly on his podcast. You are either both crazy or you are both right. And given that billionaires are literally naming their facilities after the demons that caused the flood, I am betting on right. Which means we do not have much time to do something about it. Stratos, Hyperion, Prometheus, Baccara, all under construction right now. All scheduled to go operational within 5 years, probably sooner. Once they flip the switch, once these demon-named facilities start running the autonomous robot networks, once the AI systems are making kill decisions without waiting for human approval, the window closes. You cannot vote your way out of a machine that does not care about elections. You cannot protest to software that has no conscience. Elon Musk told you directly. With AI, we are summoning the demon. Joshua Haldeman, Elon Musk's grandfather, ran Technocracy Inc. in Canada during the 1930s. Most people think technocracy was just about engineers and scientists running society instead of elected politicians. That is the cover story. Technocracy Inc. was connected to the Nazi Party. It was funded by the same occult group that bankrolled Hitler's rise to power, the Thule Society, a Babylonian death witchcraft cult operating out of Munich that believed in creating a master race through occult means and using technology to harness demonic power. Why do you think the Nazi SS were so obsessed with black magic? Himmler's castle full of occult artifacts, the expeditions to Tibet searching for ancient mystical knowledge, the human experimentation that looked more like ritual sacrifice than science. Because they were not just soldiers. They were occultists. The entire Nazi regime was built on Babylonian mystery school teachings, channeled through the Thule Society. And Technocracy Inc., the organization Elon's grandfather ran, was funded by the same people. Now Elon controls the satellite network, the brain implant company, the AI company, the space program, the social media platform. He is not disrupting the system. He is finishing what his grandfather started, building the infrastructure for technocratic rule, powered by occult principles and named after demons. And the people who should be sounding the alarm about all this, the church, they are asleep at the wheel. I was not always like this. I was raised Catholic, but lost my faith. Spent years as an agnostic. Then I started investigating the ancient alien psyop and realized these ancient aliens were actually fallen angels. And if that stuff was real, then God must be real too. I wrestled with my faith for years after that. Finally realized I was called to be a soldier in God's army. I was ordained in my late 20s, though I never really preached from the pulpit. I have been screaming at the top of my lungs online ever since, to mostly deaf ears. But I keep yelling, because eventually, someone will hear me. And I can tell you with certainty that most American Christians have no concept of spiritual warfare happening right now, in real time, through technology and corporate power structures. They think demons are something that happened in the Bible 2,000 years ago and will happen again during the tribulation, but definitely not right now while they are planning their church potluck. They think Nephilim were just tall people, nothing to worry about, definitely not something that could happen again with robots and AI. Scripture says the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim were cursed to roam the earth until the end times. Matthew 12. They are here. They are looking for bodies, and tech billionaires just built them the infrastructure to get new ones. When the Archbishop of Toulouse saw 15-foot biomechanical demons parading through his city, funded by the government, celebrated by millions, he understood what was happening. He conducted a consecration ceremony to protect the city from spiritual darkness. He took it seriously. Most American pastors would have posted a thoughtful Facebook status about meeting people where they are and not being judgmental about art, they would have done nothing. And that is why we are losing. Because while the church sleeps, the enemy operates according to a playbook that has not changed in thousands of years. These are not random billionaires making random decisions. These are initiates of Babylonian mystery schools, the same occult traditions that go back thousands of years, the same systems that Scripture warns about repeatedly. They worship the same entities, they use the same symbols, they follow the same playbook, build in plain sight, use symbolism that the masses do not recognize, hide the truth in movies, so when you execute the plan, people dismiss it as conspiracy theory because they have seen it in fiction. Palantir is named after the seeing stone Saruman used to communicate with Sauron, Tolkien's sanitized version of Satan. Oracle is named after divination and communicating with spirits to gain forbidden knowledge. These are not cute references. These are declarations of intent. And Stratos, demon army ruler, Hyperion, the watchers who caused the flood, and Prometheus, the titan punished for stealing fire from the gods, are them telling you exactly what they are building. Giant robot bodies, powered by AI, controlled from demon-named facilities, housing the disembodied spirits that were wiped out during the flood. The French taxpayers just funded the public unveiling of the prototype. So, what do we do about it? Sit back and wait for divine intervention? Or recognize that God expects his people to fight? I know the theology on that statement is debatable, but the principle stands. If we sit here and do nothing, if we just wait for God to intervene, he will, and his hand is heavy. The last time the Nephilim corrupted creation, he drowned the entire planet except 8 people. I do not want to see that happen again. I like the world. I am finally making some progress after 15 years of basically being homeless. Actually homeless for 2 years, tent and men's shelter homeless. I would like to have a wife and kids and a house and all the normal things normal people take for granted. But I cannot have any of that if there are 40 million robot demon soldiers controlled by satanic AI waging global war. We have a chance to stop this ourselves. Not just pray about it, not just wait for God to intervene. Actually do something. Remember, we are showing God that we cared enough to try. Even if we cannot prevent judgment, we tried. But that window to act, it is closing faster than anyone realizes. Once these facilities go online, once AI coordinates millions of robot soldiers, it is over. No revolution, no voting your way out. Machines do not care if you are sorry you did not act when you had the chance. The French showed you the prototype. 15-foot biomechanical demons, part human, part beast, part machine. Publicly funded, publicly celebrated. The billionaires built the demon-named control centers. Stratos, Hyperion, Prometheus. The timeline is 5 years. And most Christians are planning their church potlucks and arguing about worship music while the infrastructure for the actual end times war gets built in plain sight. This is war. You either fight or surrender. There is no middle ground. Autonomous weapons do not care you were busy. Robot armies do not care you felt powerless. Your grandchildren will not care you did not want to look weird at church. The Archbishop of Toulouse understood. He consecrated his entire city to the Sacred Heart of Jesus to protect it from 15-foot demon puppets. American pastors will post thoughtful Facebook statuses about not being judgmental. And that is why we are losing. So what will you choose? Share this article? Make one phone call? Show up to one meeting? Or scroll past and hope someone else handles it while billionaires build demon-named robot control centers that will enslave or eliminate your family? The window is right now. The choice is yours. Now you know. What are you going to do about it? Help keep the wise wolf howling.